Did Meghan Markle secretly pay her own mother to stay silent about family secrets for years? It's a question that shakes everything we thought we knew about the Duchess of Sussex. For decades, Meghan's public image has been one of perfection, graceful, poised, and almost untouchable. She was the American dream brought to life, the Hollywood princess who married into the British royal family. But now, for the first time, the people closest to her, Thomas Markle, Samantha Markle, and Doria Ragland, are breaking their silence, revealing a side of Meghan that no one outside her inner circle has ever seen. And what they are saying is shocking. Before we continue, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell for updates. Imagine growing up in a family where love, loyalty, and trust are supposed to be constants. Now imagine discovering that those bonds were compromised, not by malice, but by money, secrecy, and ambition. This isn't just a story about a royal scandal. It's a story about betrayal, manipulation, and the hidden cost of maintaining a public image that looks flawless but is built on compromise behind closed doors. Let's start with Doria Ragland, Meghan's mother. For years, she has been the quiet one, the supportive, elegant, and soft-spoken presence who stayed out of the limelight. People admired her restraint, her dignity, and her unwavering support of Meghan through every public controversy, every tabloid headline, and every royal expectation. But the truth is far more complicated. In an exclusive revelation, Doria has admitted she signed a financial agreement, a contract that effectively paid her to stay silent about Meghan's early life, her relationships, and family secrets that, if exposed, could have shattered the image of the Duchess that the world had come to know. Think about that for a moment. The mother who gave you life, who nurtured you, who supported you in every milestone, was asked to remain silent, not for love alone, but for money. How much of that silence came from loyalty? How much came from pressure? And how much was a result of careful calculation, a preemptive strike against the possibility that family truth might leak into the public eye? It's not just Doria. Thomas Markle, Meghan's father, has been vocal in the media in ways that many considered controversial, but never this revealing. He has, until now, kept certain truths close to his chest, letting the public see only the version of events that could be spun into sympathy or scandal, depending on the moment. And then there's Samantha Markle, Meghan's estranged sister, whose relationship with Meghan has always been fraught with tension. Samantha has watched, from the sidelines, as Meghan rose to global prominence. She's witnessed the glitz, the glamour, and the pressure, but now, she's speaking up in ways that could redefine the family narrative entirely. Why does this matter now? Timing is everything. In the past, snippets of family drama surfaced here and there, an interview, a leaked quote, a casual remark in the tabloids. But this is different. The story has been coordinated, deliberate, and aimed at revealing a side of Meghan that is personal, controversial, and deeply human. The revelations are surfacing at a moment when the public is already scrutinizing the royal family more closely than ever. With new documentaries, new memoirs, and new media coverage constantly reshaping public perception, these confessions threaten to shift the narrative in ways that are impossible to ignore. What exactly did Doria Ragland agree to keep quiet about? Sources suggest it encompasses everything from Meghan's early romantic relationships to family disputes, from career struggles to personal choices she made as a young adult. Imagine the kind of stories that could be hidden in such an agreement. The kind of family drama, the whispered betrayals, the private heartbreaks, stories that would make anyone stop and rethink everything they thought they knew about the Duchess of Sussex. And it's not just about secrets, it's about strategy. The agreement, according to insiders, was not a casual understanding. It was a formal, legally binding contract. It shows a level of planning, a degree of foresight, and an understanding that information is power, especially when that information involves a public figure of Meghan's stature. Doria's silence wasn't simply a matter of discretion. It was a carefully negotiated decision, one that likely weighed financial security against moral and emotional cost. At the same time, Thomas Markle's role cannot be underestimated. His public statements over the years have often been framed as misguided attempts to connect with his daughter, but behind the scenes, he has seen things, endured things, and experienced moments that the public could never understand. He has insights into Meghan's early ambitions, her personality as a child and a teenager, and the formative experiences that shaped the woman she would become. When combined with Doria's revelations, Thomas's perspective paints a more complete, more human, and more complicated picture than the one the world has been fed. Samantha Markle adds another layer to this family puzzle. Estranged or not, she possesses knowledge that neither the public nor the media could ever fabricate. Her observations, her personal grievances, and her recollections of their shared childhood provide context for Doria and Thomas's experiences. Samantha's voice is sharp, unfiltered, and often critical, which makes it all the more compelling. She is, in many ways, the wild card, the sibling who sees the discrepancies between Meghan's public persona and private actions and isn't afraid to point them out. All three family members speaking out simultaneously creates a seismic shift in the narrative. The family, once quiet and private, has now stepped into the public eye in a coordinated, deliberate manner. The timing, the emotional delivery, and the revelations themselves are designed to challenge, to shock, and to provoke discussion. You might be wondering, why now? Why at this exact moment? The answer is complex. For years, Meghan's image has been carefully curated, carefully managed, and protected at almost every turn. Every appearance, every interview, every statement has been calculated to maintain a balance between relatability and royalty. But no matter how meticulously one manages perception, the truth has a way of slipping through. In this case, the truth has arrived in the form of voices that can no longer be ignored. Voices from Thomas, Samantha, and Doria, each carrying their own weight of authenticity, emotion, and credibility. And what does this mean for Meghan herself? That is the question that everyone is asking. When the public learns that her mother was allegedly paid to stay silent, that her father and sister have long harbored truths that contradict her curated narrative, how will that affect her reputation? How will it affect her relationship with the royal family, with Archie and Lilibet, with the public who has adored her? The answers are unknown, and that uncertainty is part of what makes this story so irresistible. Consider the emotional toll on Doria Ragland. A mother is supposed to protect, nurture, and love unconditionally. To have to weigh that love against a contract, a legal obligation to silence, must have been agonizing. The moral conflict alone is staggering. Did Doria ever want to speak out? Did she ever regret the agreement? These are the questions the public has been waiting for, and now, for the first time, they are being answered. Similarly, Thomas Markle's perspective challenges the narrative of absence or neglect. While tabloids have often painted him as distant or disconnected, the truth is far more nuanced. His struggles, his intentions, and his perspective on Meghan's life provide a deeper understanding of family dynamics that the public has only ever glimpsed. And then there's Samantha, the sibling with the sharp tongue and candid perspective. She offers not only insight but critique. She challenges the sanitized versions of events that have been presented to the world. In doing so, she adds tension, drama, and conflict, three elements that make this story impossible to ignore. So, what exactly are we about to uncover? Secrets about Meghan's early life, confessions about financial agreements, stories of personal sacrifice and moral dilemmas, betrayals, heartbreaks, and moments that could forever change how the public perceives the Duchess of Sussex. And yet, even after all of this, the most shocking detail has yet to be revealed. It's not just what Doria said, it's what she refused to say. It's the secret that Meghan was desperate to keep buried, the truth that could rewrite the story of a family, a duchess, and a dynasty. But here's the thing. These revelations aren't just about scandal or drama. They're about human relationships, the complexity of family, and the lengths people will go to protect what they love. Or what they want to control. The stage is set, the players are in place, and the story that is about to unfold will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. Thomas Markle has kept quiet for years, but what he's about to reveal could shock the world. That's the kind of sentence that makes you sit up and take notice. For decades, Thomas has been the figure in Meghan's life who is almost as enigmatic as the Duchess herself. Seen occasionally in photos, quoted in interviews, and sometimes vilified in tabloids, he has largely stayed on the periphery of Meghan's narrative. But now, after years of silence, he has decided to break his own. And when he speaks, The truth he delivers is a mix of heartbreak, regret, frustration, and revelations that no one could have predicted. Let's start with his perspective as a father. Thomas is a man who watched his daughter grow up in Los Angeles, a city that breeds ambition, glamour, and occasionally, cynicism. He saw Meghan as a bright, independent child, full of promise, determination, and curiosity. He remembers the early days, the laughter, the arguments, the small victories, and the heartbreaks. But he also remembers the challenges, the family struggles, the media attention, the pressures of growing up in an environment where appearances matter more than authenticity. Thomas describes Meghan as fiercely intelligent, someone who had a sense of purpose even from a young age. She was ambitious, yes, but also deeply sensitive. She could be loving and warm, but she also carried the weight of expectation. The expectation to excel, to be perfect, to navigate a world that could be cruel and unforgiving. And it's precisely that combination, ambition and sensitivity, that shaped the woman the world came to know. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. Thomas reveals that the relationship between him and Meghan was never as simple as father and daughter. There were periods of distance, periods of misunderstanding, and moments when he felt powerless to protect her from the world, or from herself. He recounts instances when the media twisted stories about Meghan, turning minor details into sensational headlines. He recalls moments when he tried to intervene, only to find himself ignored or rebuffed. What's even more compelling is his insight into Meghan's relationship with her mother, Doria. Thomas has always respected Doria's discretion, but he also sensed the tension beneath the surface. He knew there were secrets, agreements, and unspoken rules governing what could and could not be discussed. He hints at moments when he wanted to speak out, to clarify misunderstandings, but was restrained by fear of public backlash, by loyalty, or perhaps by a sense of inevitability. Thomas also sheds light on Meghan's early ambitions. Long before the royal engagement, Meghan was determined to succeed in Hollywood. She faced auditions, rejections, and the constant pressure to maintain a public image while navigating private struggles. Thomas recalls the sacrifices she made, the tough decisions, and the moments when he worried about the toll it was taking on her mental and emotional well-being. But the revelations don't stop there. Thomas discloses private moments that paint a very human picture of Meghan, a young woman navigating fame, family expectations, and personal growth. He describes heated arguments, heartfelt apologies, and the kind of father-daughter conversations that never make it into the tabloids. These aren't stories meant for gossip. They are snapshots of real life, of a relationship marked by love, misunderstanding, and complexity. One of the most shocking aspects of Thomas's account is his awareness of Doria's financial agreement with Meghan. While he cannot disclose every detail, he acknowledges that it existed and that it placed Doria in a difficult position. Thomas reflects on how this agreement shaped family dynamics, creating unspoken tensions and moral dilemmas. He wonders aloud about the long-term consequences, both for his relationship with Meghan and for the public's perception of her. He also addresses the media's role in amplifying family drama. Thomas recounts moments when he felt manipulated by headlines, misquoted in interviews, and unfairly criticized. He emphasizes that much of what the public believes is incomplete or distorted. He questions whether anyone outside the family can truly understand the pressures Meghan faced, the decisions she made, or the reasons behind her actions. Throughout his account, Thomas exhibits a mix of pride and sorrow. He is proud of Meghan's accomplishments, her intelligence, and her resilience. But he is also deeply aware of the emotional cost of fame and royal life. He shares anecdotes of her struggles with public scrutiny, the challenges of balancing personal happiness with public expectation, and the moments when he feared for her well-being. Thomas's story also touches on Meghan's early relationships, romantic and platonic, and the ways in which they shaped her personality. He hints at youthful mistakes, misjudged decisions, and the lessons she learned along the way. These insights provide context for Doria's later decision to remain silent, as well as for Samantha's critical perspective. And yet, for all the personal revelations, Thomas's account is not just about Meghan. It is about family, loyalty, and the complicated dynamics that can arise when love intersects with ambition, secrecy, and public pressure. He reflects on the delicate balance between protecting a loved one and respecting their autonomy, and he wrestles with the consequences of choices made years ago. As the chapter builds toward its climax, Thomas hints at a secret phone call, an event that changed the trajectory of Meghan's relationship with her family. He does not reveal every detail, but the implication is clear. This call had far-reaching consequences, affecting not only family bonds but also Meghan's public persona.